Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm Robbie of the McFly Variety, and this is free play Gridlock. It's really helping me a lot to be able to just play right now. And I'm loving that the structure of creating a YouTube video alongside of it is helping me keep on par with a project at a time, because I'm usually very all over the place. But we're back. We're gonna do so. We're in this episode. We got six full interchanges. Two of them are a little bit basic. I definitely intend to do more work with them later because they're not gonna be very much so like a average. We'll see what I mean by that later on, but on all of the sunken highway interchanges, they're going to be either a variation of a dumbbell or a dog bone. This one is more of a variation of a dumbbell, really. Well, I mean, okay, structure-wise, dumbbell, function-wise, dog bone. And the difference between that is essentially whether or not you can go in the full loop around either side. If you can't and it just cuts off and goes through, dog bone. At least from my understanding of it. I also could just be making up some nonsense. But I think that what makes these kind of videos fun is that you end up seeing a lot of people who just build grids and put together a whole, and they just put down some zoning and throw it and make it grow. And yeah, of course I do that in other videos. It's necessary. It's a part of the game. But at the same time, I think the fun of watching intersections, interchanges, different things like this kind of oriented video is that you learn. At least I learn. I watch a video, I'm like, oh, there's something I never knew before, and I start implementing things like time traffic lights. When Yumble did the time traffic lights episode, talking about how he makes trams go through there, he wasn't even specifically talking about time traffic lights. But I learned so much just by that one video, and it really changed the way I played the game in a lot of ways. So maybe this will give you some inspiration. I hope it does, and I'd love to see something. I do have a Discord going. Not that good at making it work. There's a skill level to that I need to figure out, and I won't lie. That's okay. But I think the other important thing about that kind of mindset with this is, like, clearly y'all saw me start this one out and then delete everything, and you might see that another time or two. We'll see what happens. But I fully believe in just starting over. Like, if it doesn't work, if maybe the scale was off, maybe what you thought could be implemented just cannot be implemented. A lot of times I have like something in my mind, I'm like, I could really get that ramp to come over, but when I put a ramp over, it's way too short, and suddenly it's like a drop off. That's not okay. So delete it, start over, try something new. Try something different, put something somewhere that you wouldn't expect to put it, and you'll end up having some fun. This one's initially supposed to be like a big old circle. It's just supposed to come out and go around. This time I did two roundabouts on both sides, and that one roundabout is kind of just a if we can look at it a little bit closer later, or maybe we've already kind of looked at it close enough to understand. Actually, we look at it more here in a second. This was, clearly the first one. And it was more supposed to be a T-junction kind of interchange. Like, yeah, I really like the way that looks a lot. But you see how that, it only comes in and around. And if we look at the lane marking tools, you can only, if you're going down that, you can only get on the highway. You're not supposed to come back around to the other side, which I can't see anybody even doing that accidentally anyway. And there, that one's done. And then with this one, you're gonna see that same thing. No, this one's for the airport. We can shift up conversation to future plans. I had this whole thing drawn In fact, you know what? Pause, we're gonna put it in right here. In this drawing, I was thinking, I wanna be able to implement the bypass road in the middle in order to get it to connect over to the highway. I don't want that anymore. If you're coming from the airport and you need to get somewhere quickly, hop on a train, hop on the tram, hop on the, I'm about to put I very, very seldom use it. It's on a pipe. It's the one pipe monorail. Hop on the monorail. Do something other than get on the highway. Because the only reason you should be coming from the airport is because you're doing something in this city, not to get out of the city. And the point of the bypasses right now is to get through the city. So we just did something more simple. It's going to connect everything in the area. It's going to become a local a local interchange along with servicing the airport. So it's a little bit bigger than the last one, but with the idea of there being extreme amounts of public transit involved, I backed off of making it really, really big like the one after this. The one after this definitely gains a lot of size, but it also has a lot more like integration into the grid. So it had to handle local traffic along with interchange traffic, even though it has, like the local traffic, I mean, like you're coming from one road to another, and it just so happens that that's also like the main route for this interchange. Like I just made it a little bit bigger. And I think they work according to their placement. Is it the one after this? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But I'm really excited for the way this airport's going to turn out. It's already, I really, really like the entrance to it. I plan on being very simple with the roadway about it. Like I said, I'm going to focus a lot on public transit. We already have the metro set up. We'll probably do well, of course we're going to do a train, because I definitely want to do something with pass. Well, do I want to do something? See, there's some things I still have to figure out, I guess. I'm thinking that I kind of want to use trains just for cargo, like just cargo. And maybe I won't do passenger rail with that, because it's not like it's going in and out of the city. The cargo could just be helpful in that way, and then I'm not having to deal with extra lines. It'd be too much. So yeah, just cargo, and even then I could actually use the airport cargos. I think that's really come to the conclusion of that. Now, this I found really interesting. Like, first of all, this is a part of that whole, like, when you mess up or if you feel like it's not working, just delete it and redo it. Now, I'm not about to delete the entire interchange, but I am gonna delete all those fillers. I'm gonna delete all those fillers and replace them because I placed them wrong. It's just the way it is. I made a mistake. This is what you get when you're trying to put together a really nice city. You have to put the extra work into the extra details. And I had to delete it and restart it, and I'm okay with it because I really love the way it turned out. The purpose of these is that if you hop on the green, you hop in a green lane in order to get to the highway. And like, if that's what you're trying to do, like from the airport, because people will be coming in and out of the area. They don't know the local, highway system. Hey, there's that monorail. They don't know the local highway system. So do some stuff in order to make it more easily navigatable. Is navigatable a word? Yeah, I just really liked that, and it made sense for the third. That one's really more of a dumbbell interchange, because it had to. I needed that extra. It's gonna actually have a blue lane and a green lane. Let me know what you think about a blue painted lane. I don't think I've ever seen blue lane markings in real life. Now, of course, we've seen green. I know that red's a thing in like the Netherlands, but I don't think I've ever seen blue painted onto the ground. And I don't know if it even makes sense, maybe even from like a logistics or just a realism point of view. Like, does blue just end up looking like the sky? Does it blend in? How does that work? What makes them choose what color for something? That's just blabbering at that point. But okay, we're gonna do this one next. See, I didn't want to do another dumbbells in these. That was a big part of that. So it's just kind of spaghetti in a way. I just take them in different directions, hoping that, not really hoping, just like with the idea that they won't interact with each other as much. We kind of spread out the traffic. I really like when I drive in like on highways, they do that kind of thing. Like, yeah, you came in here, but you're definitely not going to get out from here. They're just not average. I know that makes it a little bit more complicated to drive. It's not like navigatably friendly. Hey, okay, I don't know if that's a word either. But if they're not far from each other, like this is not that far from each other, you're just not gonna take the opposite direction from the road you came in to go out. Like, it's just around the corner. But if you're going the completely different direction, it's gonna be in the opposite corner of that entire space of grid. I think separating that out is just really gonna help it a lot. And all this right here is just that detail work that makes it just that much better to look at. Now I did leave some of this in here, and you will see some cut-ins where I kind of did some stuff in between videos. Maybe I was sitting here just staring at it and I was like, oh wait, let me do this real quick. Like there's a monorail station that just pops up out of nowhere. A lot of these grids end up just being changed over into their, like, the road type I want them to be moving forward, just out of nowhere. Next thing you know, it's just, oh, that entire grid is laid out. And I just figured no one wanted to watch a bunch of roads get changed for 10 minutes. Just cut that out. Let's keep it with the interesting parts of, like, how do I put lines together on a intersection? Which is probably another thing somebody actually really wants to watch in order to learn. Like, they see something like, wait, how did you do that? I hope everyone knows that they can slow down videos here on YouTube. It should be down in the bottom right-hand corner, a little cog-looking icon. You should be able to hit speed and put it to the slowest speed if you want to slow down and watch that. Or maybe even just comment and say, hey, like, even if you see this 2 videos 2 years later, tell me you want to see a detailed understanding of line works, and I will happily maybe I'll just make a whole video of it anyway, because I just really love that mod and I think it really adds a lot to cities. But tell me, like, hey, I want this, and if I've already made it, I'll just link it to you. Tell me what you want to see. I definitely always want to know what you want to see. I thought this was actually kind of cool, because it's not very often that I build infrastructure under infrastructure that, like, goes straight along, which really makes me want to do what do you call that? Like a double stacked railway again. There was one time I did that. Oh, okay, that's gonna spiral out of control. I really like that I put that alleyway under there. It made the area a little bit more obtainable for traffic. It didn't just break up. It didn't expand the blocks. Although those lots are not the blocks. My goodness, those blocks are not that long, so it could be fine to block. Hey, here's that third interchange I've been talking about. Technically fourth. The alleyway is cool. Now, like, project protection is the second round. Now this is where I'm going with the whole, like, dual. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh boy. So project protection is actually, it's the version that's here on YouTube is its second iteration. Its first iteration is on my laptop before I got my lovely gaming setup, and I just didn't move the old map over. So in the original one, which was way more overbuilt in its map creation, it was way too much really coming down to it, and I couldn't figure out how to utilize it best. The highway was, like, way too tall, like 3 times as tall as it needed to be for cargo ships to get under. But because it was that tall, and because I didn't want highway and then rails, I actually took the rails and I took their pillars away and put them under the highway part, as if they were like, if it was like a layer of rail and then a layer of highway. And that's how it ran through, and like there was like a whole part where it like separated off on mainland. It looked really good, and I could do that again. I really enjoyed doing that. It was tedious, but it was worth it. I really did enjoy that a lot, man. Okay, I think that's guaranteed at this point. I gotta do some kind of layered networking in this. Now, what I do enjoy about this interchange is that, like I said, it's a little bit bigger. It's meant to help with it's built in with the local infrastructure. See, like if you want to go anywhere around that area, you're gonna have to go through the roundabout. So making the roundabout, and by the way, these are turbo roundabouts. That's why I use lane markings. But make going through the roundabout as easy as possible. It was really fun actually doing this because you're used to like the exit lane for the highway being on the far right, but it's actually the one in the second from the right. And that just made it, I don't know, it's different. So I loved it. Just right there, right? And then this is where I start putting the blue one in because I'm like, okay, I can't just put the green one in. Okay, that's not right. I fixed the one that I messed up because I had it come from one exit around to the other exit. It made no sense. And because of the way, because they're right next to each other, I had to change the color. That's where this is where the blue comes into play. And I think it looks good. Oh, and then yeah, I also had to dumb down the lanes there. Tell me what you think of the blue. I don't know what else. Like, that's just really it. What do we think of the blue? Should it be something like yellow? Should it be maybe like green but in a grid fashion, and then the other green can be changed to like a... Does that even make sense? Should it have been grid anyway instead of being painted solid? Or can we play off that the asphalt was tinted that color before it got laid? What's realistic in that? Because like I want a level of realism, but at the same time, it's a city for fun. I'm not that worried, but at the same time, a little bit worried. Dang my perfectionism. It's interesting that this is also such a major interchange section because the side of the island is very, very light for it. But I intend for this to be where like a serious amount of traffic would be going with a lot of high rises. I want the super tall high rises here. I want the tourism here. I want the leisure here. I want the university. Right? Is the university right here? I think the university is right here. Like I want that amount of traffic to be there to where it makes sense to have this size. And I want to keep a focus on being able to figure that kind of thing out. Like, you know, I actually makes sense to put the bus terminal here. The intercity bus terminal, definitely gonna have to go on to this, right off of this area. Just, yeah, love it. I don't know if there's much else for me to say. I think I'm gonna cut it there. I think y'all have heard me ramble long enough. The video's about 30 minutes long, and I've rambled for about 15. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the blue, what you want to see. Do you have a suggestion for how this map should get designed or anything that I should do to it? Maybe if you have an answer as to why my residential and industrial needs are so messed up for my other cities, that'd be helpful. With that, that's all I got. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening up. And see you in the next one. After this one, of course. Bye.